This is old news, but important news nonetheless. So this article is from Wired from September 20th, 2023, 3:20 p.m. And this is the gruesome story of how Neuralink's monkeys actually died.
Is it old age?
Don't ruin the article.
Did they telekinetically bring things down upon themselves?
You know that this is going to have a good end to it because it's Elon Musk.
Elon Musk and monkeys. What's not to like?
Exactly. That's what we're all thinking going into this. I don't know who wrote this. Nowhere does it say who wrote this. Oh, yeah.
It was the monkeys.
Drev Merotra and Del Cameron. They're right before the date, 3:20.
Those are monkey names if I've ever heard monkey names.
It's true. That does sound very monkeyish. Fresh allegations of potential securities fraud have been leveled at Elon Musk over statements he recently made regarding the deaths of primates used for research at Neuralink, his biotech startup. Letters sent this afternoon to top officials at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, by a medical ethics group call on the agency to investigate Musk's claim that monkeys who died during the trials at the company were terminally ill and did not die as a result of Neuralink implants. They claim, based on veterinary records, that complications with the implant procedures led to their deaths. Musk first acknowledged the deaths of the macaques? Yeah, on September 10th, in a reply to a user on a social networking app, X, formerly Twitter. I hate how you have to say that now.
You don't. You can just say Twitter.
Yeah, I could. He denied that any of the deaths were a result of a Neuralink implant and said the researchers had taken care of 2 select subjects who were already close to death. Relatedly, in a presentation last fall, Musk claimed that Neuralink's animal testing was never exploratory, but was instead conducted to confirm fully formed scientific hypothesis. We are extremely careful, he said. Assumption, right? That he was extremely careful.
Yeah, that's why you don't need to regulate
almost dead of monkeys. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're all
very
thinking
careful
right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Public records reviewed by Wired and interviews conducted with a former Neuralink employee and a current researcher at the University of California, Davis Primate Center paint a wholly different picture of Neuralink's animal research. The documents include veterinary records, first made public last year, that contain gruesome portrayals of suffering reportedly endured by as many as a dozen of Neuralink's primate subjects, all of whom needed to be euthanized. These records could serve as the basis for any potential SEC probe into Musk's comments about Neuralink, which has faced multiple federal investigations as the company moves towards its goal of releasing the first commercially available brain-computer interface for humans. The letters to the SEC come from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, a nonprofit striving to abolish live animal testing. The group claims that Musk's comments about the primate deaths were misleading, that he knew them to be false, and the investors deserve to hear the truth about the safety and thus the marketability of Neuralink's speculative product. They are claiming they are going to put a safe device on the market, and that's why you should invest. That was in quotes.
And also not
That's
unionize, yeah.
Most importantly, I think. Or is it that they're killing
Yeah, oh yeah, that's more important than profit in this situation.
and monkeys? That was supposed to be in quotes, so I'm going to follow the quotes by Ryan.
When monkeys unionize?
They should.
I mean, if anybody here, well, the workers need it too, but the monkeys need it more.
Yeah. For all you monkeys listening, unionize.
And
As
writing.
monkeys. Yeah. Who leads the Physicians Committee's research into animal testing alternatives tells Wired, quote, and we see his lie as a way to whitewash what happened in these exploratory studies, end quote. Musk's posts on Twitter about Neuralink's monkeys have been viewed more than 760,000 times. Flawless. The way I read that number, that made me proud. I usually can't do that. And the Physicians Committee notes in its letters that when the SEC charged Musk with securities fraud related to Tesla in 2018, the agency argued that his account was a source of investor news. The SEC has jurisdiction over the sales of any securities, including those offered by privately held companies such as Neuralink. Recent filings show the company has raised more than $280 million from outside investors. The SEC declined Wired's request to comment on the Physicians Committee's letters. Neuralink did not respond to specific questions about Musk's claims. Whoa, that was hard to say. Putting an S on the end of Musk is just a tongue twister. Or request for comment about the Physicians Committee's allegations. Within a year, it's not funny.
It's a real tongue twister, I agree.
Musk. Within a year of its reported founding in March 2017, Neuralink acquired a large number of animal subjects to test its brain chip implant. Brain chip. That was not intended that I said
brain chip in the chimp. Yeah.
From September 2017 until late 2020. Yeah.
By chance, could you have been misreading it the whole time and they're actually putting monkeys inside of humans' brains?
I wouldn't mind. I would actually
a brain chimp
for that. Yeah, maybe brain chimp.
Not if they're going to go crazy in there.
What a twist. This article really took a turn.
You just got to read it right.
Yeah. From September 2017 until late 2020, the company's experiments were aided by the staff of the California National Primate Research Center, CNPRC, a federally funded bioresearch facility at UC Davis. Musk's promise was to revolutionize prostheses, engineer an implant that would allow human brains to communicate wirelessly with artificial devices and even each other. UC Davis veterinary records cited that by the Physicians Committee, which Wired also obtained through a subsequent California Public Records request, chronicle a battery of complications that developed following procedures involving electrodes being surgically implanted into monkeys' brains. The complications included bloody diarrhea, partial paralysis, and cerebral edema, a condition colloquially known as brain swelling. For example, trigger warning, in an experimental surgery that took place in December 2019 performed to determine the survivability of an implant, an internal part of the device broke off while being implanted. Overnight, researchers observed the monkey, identified only as Animal 20, this is so sad, by UC Davis, scratching at the surgical site, which emitted a bloody discharge and yanking a connector that eventually... I'm just gonna move on. I think we get the idea here. I don't know that I can finish that. Additional veterinary reports show the condition of a female monkey called Animal 15 during the months leading up to her death in March 2019. Days after her implant surgery, she began to press her head against the floor for no apparent reason, a symptom of pain or infection, the records say.
No apparent reason?
Other than the implant, probably, is the reason, definitely. I'm not a doctor, though, so...
Yeah.
Staff observed that though she was uncomfortable picking and pulling at her implant until it bled, she would often lie at the foot of her cage and spend time holding hands with her roommate. Animal 15 began to lose coordination, and staff observed that she would shake uncontrollably when she saw lab workers. Her condition deteriorated for months until the staff finally euthanized her. A necropsy report indicates that she had bleeding in her brain and that the Neuralink implants left parts of her cerebral cortex focally tattered. I'm not going to read any more.
I just want to make this sure that I'm getting this right. They could have removed the Neuralink, but they euthanized her. And I'm not saying that would fix anything, but maybe try that before killing an animal that you've decided to just number and not even call the species that it is.
Yeah, it's just animal. I'm going to just skip past that. I think we get the idea of the animal cruelty that's going on there just from that little brief section. There's more it goes into.
I'm guessing, seeing as how you had an animal in the 20s, that there's at least 20 different studies that did not go well in this scenario.
Went through something, yeah. If the SEC does investigate Musk's comments, it would mark at least the third federal probe linked to Neuralink's animal testing. In December 2022, Reuters reported that the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Office of Inspector General had launched a probe into Neuralink's treatment of some animal test subjects. In February 2023, the U.S. Department of Transportation opened an investigation into Neuralink over allegations of unsafe transport of antibiotic-resistant pathogens.
Oh, good.
These investigations followed the U.S. Food and Drug Administration initially rejecting Neuralink's application in early 2022 for approval to conduct in-human clinical trials. According to Reuters, the agency's major concern involved the device's lithium battery, as well as the possibility that the implant's wires might migrate to other parts of the brain. This May, the FDA gave the company approval for human trials. Those human trials could begin soon. Yesterday, I'm just gonna skip to the end of the article. Oh, we're done.
Right, look at that.
We know by this time that it has been implanted into humans, obviously. This is an old article.
Chelsea, when you say you have sad news, like, you don't pull the punch. It's not
I don't
like
even know that I said I had
long
sad
term.
news.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up in light of what's going on with Elon. I've been seeing it pop up here and there that he has done some pretty horrific animal cruelties. So I thought, hey, what better time to share this than now? Because I didn't actually, I guess you really thought about it. Obviously, there's going to be some animal cruelty in the testing.
Well, what person doesn't have animal cruelty and murder of innocent chimpanzees in their past? Most, actually. Yeah. I think pretty much everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't, right?
Yeah, I find it so, in a taken aback way, fascinating how this guy is like the envy of so much of the conspiracy world. If you told somebody who's a conspiracist 10 years ago that there's this guy trying to put implants in people's brains and it is killing monkeys left and right, he's the bad guy. Yeah. Like, everybody's gonna know he's the bad guy.
Can you imagine, like, Nostradamus prophesizing what's going on with Elon?
But just, like, this guy has so many bad things attached to him. And I just don't get how the conspiracy world isn't catching on to this guy. They've been terrified of Soros for decades. Musk just did that times 50, and they're not worried. So I just find it very hard to say. And one more thing I just have to add, a conspiracy theory that I'm just making up on the spot here.
Oh, I love that.
So do not take any credence in it.
It might. It probably will.
Trump and Musk have both decided they're very anti-migrant. They're taking them to Guantanamo Bay, where we don't know anything that goes on there.
Monkeys?
He was looking to test this on human subjects. I wonder if we can put two and two together.
I had more to say, but let's just end that there.
No, you keep going.
I forgot about it.
No, you can't top it? Okay, that's okay then. And in any event, you guys got 48 hours. Please try to avoid the ever-creeping gaze of this billionaire that kills monkeys. Not personally, I don't think, but it kills monkeys.
And anyhow, not only does he kill monkeys, doesn't even give them a name.
Doesn't even give them a name.
Animal.
Yeah.
That was sad. That was even more
And let's not get too far into that, because I have thoughts on that. But we'll just move on. We'll see you in 48 hours. Bye.
Yeah, okay, bye. It's best to do that.
Mostly because I was going to say it's probably best if you're going to murder them to not name them. That's
true.
But we don't need that in
that would be why he didn't give them a name. So
that, and he's pretty terrible at naming things. Maybe those were names for his kids that he never got to give.
Maybe it was the name.